Okay, so like I said, I wanted to talk today about something that was also happening in my family. I'm not sure how many of you were following me, but you must have heard about what was going on. Basically, what happened is my parents had gone to visit my sister in Dubai in the UAE on during the first week of March, and they have been stuck ever since. They were stuck in Dubai ever since the beginning of March. Their plan was to be there for 2 weeks and come back, but by the time they were supposed to fly back, all the flights from the UAE were cancelled. I think the flight was on the 19th of March, but all flights from UAE were cancelled on the 18th of March, so they had no other option other than waiting it out there. And another thing was my nephew is born with a congenital heart disease. He has already had 3 heart surgeries over the past 5 years. He's just 5, and we needed he has a pacemaker since the last surgery, which happened in Jan of 2019. So the pacemaker has been having some issues. Ideally, a pacemaker is supposed to last for 5 years, but in his case, his pacemaker started malfunctioning, and we were asked to replace the pacemaker at least by June. So now that became a conundrum for us, because we didn't know, because all flights were cancelled and we were not sure. We were not very confident about the healthcare system in Dubai, because his is a little complicated case, and doing it in his doctor in Manipal in Bangalore has been doing all his surgeries, and he is the next like God sent for all of us in our family, because he has been extremely what do you say, he was the one who has been doing this, and extremely talented doctor. So, and because this was a complicated case, we didn't want to get it done in Dubai. So now the problem was there were no flights from anywhere around the world till the Vande Bharat Mission was announced. And so when the Vande Bharat Mission was announced on April 30th, we were all given a link, like anyone who wanted repatriation flights from all Indians who wanted to come back to India. So based on the location, they were given a link to register, and we also registered during the last week of April. I think it was on April 30th or May 1st we registered, and then we have been waiting since then, because initially, one very strange thing is, even though there are a lot of people there who wanted to come back to Bangalore, there were no flights scheduled from Dubai to Bangalore in the first phase, as well as in the second phase. So we were really confused why that was happening, and then we started putting it out on social media saying that we need this help. He has to be in India by June. We have to get the surgery by June. And so we started finding out why there were no flights. Luckily for us, they scheduled a flight because Dubai to other states, like especially Kerala, because there are a lot of people from Kerala who are working in Dubai, but flights from Bangalore, and I think there were a couple of flights to Mangalore as well. So, but there were no flights to Bangalore, which was a problem we were facing. Thankfully, they scheduled one, and then so we had already registered. So one of the biggest problems of the repatriation flights, what most people don't understand, is that the number of people who want to come back to India right now, and a lot of people are blaming the people, saying that they're just coming here for fun. But I told you my case, what was happening. My parents' visa had already expired. They are senior citizens. If any medical emergencies happen with them also, they don't have insurance in Dubai or anything, so they they had, and their visas were expired. Even though their visas was expired till August, they had the UAE government has given an extension, but still it was kind of a touch and go for a very long time. That was in our case. So just think about this. Ever since the link opened, there has been at least 300,000 people who have registered only to come back from Dubai, from the UAE to India. And I'm not talking only about UAE. If you're talking about the entire world, similarly US, UK, Australia, a lot of countries in the Europe, there are a lot of people who are waiting to come back. And it's not because they want to come back, because a lot of people don't have a go. So there are a lot of people who have lost their jobs there, or people who had gone on a visit visa and have been stuck there. There are a lot of other medical emergencies as well. Then there are people like our neighbor here in Chennai, the people who stayed next to my in-laws house in Chennai. That auntie died, and she had 3 sons, and one son is in Chennai, while 2 other sons were in the US. And she died on April 1st, and they came during the first phase of Vande Bharat Mission, which was around the May 12th or 13th. The 2 sons came, and they had to keep her body in the mortuary for almost 1.5 months till these sons came back. So that is one thing you should understand before making any comments. Not everyone is coming back because it's for pleasure. Most of them want to come back because, not most of them, I would say at least 95% of the people who want to come back are people who have been stuck there, or they have some kind of emergencies like this. So before you make any judgments, find out, talk to people why they want to come back, because a lot of them are doing it because they had no other go. That's one thing I wanted to say. So why I'm talking about them is the process is currently because there are very few flights. Like I said, Dubai to Bangalore, which should be a common this thing, has had 1 flight till now, and there is one more flight which is scheduled on the 3rd of June, but that also we are not sure, because what are they, who's going to get called. So what happens is, once you register, the embassy or the consulate in that location will decide who should be given priority. And you cannot blame them also. They have been working like crazy because they are trying to send, like I said, in the UAE alone, 3 lakh plus people who have registered, who have lost their jobs, they have no income, they're trying to survive on foreign soil with no other help. A lot of them are staying with their friends or family, and they don't have an option there. But even the embassy is trying their level best. So and there is a lot of, because it's an unknown precedent and they don't know what is going on. People need permission from the government of India as well, and so it is taking time. There are not a lot of people. I've been in multiple groups and I've seen the despair of a lot of people, and it has been really upsetting, because I've heard of, I've been when we were trying for flights for my parents and my nephew and sister, I joined a WhatsApp group on which were exclusively for people from Dubai to Bangalore, because we were trying how we can work together as a group to get a flight to Bangalore, and how can we get on the flight, what are the things that has to be considered. And it has been a little bit of eye-opening experience, because you see what others are going through. So like I was telling, so for every flight, what the embassy does is a list is prepared based on the urgency. So luckily for us, because both our cases were highly emergent, so we thankfully were able to make the flight on May 23rd, and my parents and my sister and my nephew, they reached on the 23rd currently, and they had around 7 days of hotel quarantine, and they reached yesterday home. Now they have another 7 days of home quarantine, so that is going on right now in their case. But what I wanted to reiterate is there are a lot of people who are still stuck there, who still have no other options. And you should understand, especially, okay, if you're saying the US, there might be people who have the financial security to come back to India or can survive for a few months. But here in the UAE, there are a lot of people who don't have that option, and like they might be getting minimum wage there as well, and suddenly you go there, because I know of people who have been talking about actually killing themselves, which was really hard for a lot of us on the group, because he doesn't have an option of surviving there anymore. He was like, if I don't make the flight on June 3rd, that is what I have to do, which is really